Fine. Okay, so here I'm going to go ahead and get started. We're recording now, and we'll get Doppler's first question.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is the Doppler Effect Podcast. One signal, different experience. Tonight, our guest, Dr. Lori Winborn, a veterinarian all the way from Denver, Colorado. You might just recognize her from TikTok as @Capri&Me, where you've probably seen her in an ad for a company called PACA, or maybe even climbing to the top of mountains in Colorado with her pet Dalmatian Capri. Dad, how did you convince her to come on the podcast? She's got to think you're nuts.
Doctor, I don't know if we should really be getting into that right now.
Well, anyway, Lori says that she shares her adventures on social media just to make those adventures, big and small, feel more accessible and less intimidating. She says she shares the details about her hikes because the unknown stops so many people, and she used to be one of those people. What you don't know can feel so intimidating, even a new hike in your own town. Miss Lori, it's an honor and a pleasure to have you here. Thank you so much for taking the time today. I've got a very important question. If you could only have 4 arms or 4 legs, what would you choose?
Arms, because my head immediately went towards brushing my teeth, and I feel like,
Yeah, can't get by without that for sure. Like
yeah,
once you've had hands, it'd be very difficult to go back, I'm afraid. So
yeah, that's a fun question.
yeah, so Doppler is the one that is going to try to trip you up a little bit every now and then with the hypothetical. But like I'm more interested in you and your story, of course. So like you have been on social media now for a couple of years, and I came across your profile probably about last year, and I remember thinking, gosh, she just has so much fun with her dog climbing all these mountains. That's so awesome. And I'm in Iowa, 0 mountains to be spoken of. I don't know if you've ever been through the area or not, but yeah. So tell us like a little bit more, like when this all started for you on social media. What was your thought process? Were you just doing this for enjoyment, and then things kind of, kind of took off for you, or how did that all happen?
Yeah, well, I moved from Louisiana to Colorado, so I haven't been to Iowa, but I know what it's like to live somewhere where there's no mountains at all, or there's not really much adventuring to do, I guess. So when I moved from Louisiana to Colorado, one of the main motivators was because I wanted to get outside and hike. And
Awesome.
I don't know, I just always was videoing my dog. And obviously, I think he's the most precious thing ever. And then I started having fun rewatching our adventures, and TikTok was kind of up and a thing then. And I just started posting them. And I got a lot of positive feedback where people were like, "Oh, thank you for sharing that. I went out and did this hike. It was so beautiful." And I don't know, it was really motivating for me to keep sharing because I was just as intimidated at that time. Like, I did so much research before going out on a hike, and I was looking up like, what do you wear? What do you pack? I had all these questions, and then I had people telling me, I got your bag because you recommended it, and I feel so much better about this trail because of X, Y, and Z. So it exploded for me because I enjoyed helping people. And then I guess it just eventually built a little bit of traction online. And I think there's some people that like my recommendations, but that's kind of how it started for me. Yeah.
That's awesome. And it's strange to kind of get to that point because at the beginning it is kind of nerve-wracking. Like you don't know, you're putting yourself out there on the internet. You don't know how people are going to react to that. But I love the way you said there's just like you said, I just like to help people. Like, and that's so
Hmm.
awesome. Like that speaks so much of the social media community that, in a perfect world, we do see mostly people that want to build each other up, and that's what I really love about it. I'm sure you've seen the other side of it as well. Have you had any negative experiences with social media?
I have, but some of them, whenever I reflect on it, I just wonder if it's me putting a lot of pressure on myself or interpreting it wrong. But I have had some negative experiences where people just aren't as positive in the outdoor, community. People that kind of prefer some things to stay private, or some trails to stay private.
Yeah.
But that's everybody is entitled to their own opinion, and that's totally fine. There's room for all of us out there. So I think I put too much pressure on myself as far as interpreting that feedback
I,
goes.
I, I get it though, and I love that you've taken the time to like reflect on that because it is uh it's difficult to just ignore the people in the negativity sometimes, even though I have found that usually less than 1% of the population that sees a video is going to be that negative person, but like it happens. But
Yeah.
and it's also like I think as I don't consider myself like a huge creator by any means, but like as people that are creative and we put stuff on the internet, like you are apprehensive and you want people to, you don't want to hurt anyone's feelings. You don't want to upset anyone. So it's easy to overthink those things from my perspective. I
Yeah.
would agree anyway. So, okay. So you said you moved from Louisiana. And so I'm guessing you went to vet school there in Louisiana. Would that be correct then?
Right. Yeah. I went to LSU.
Awesome. Okay. Very
Yeah.
cool. And did you, when you were in vet school, like that's a place special to my heart. I think I mentioned to you in an email. I've got a lot of veterinarians in the family. So
Yeah.
did you always know you wanted to be a veterinarian when you were growing up, or?
Yeah, I think that's so cool about your family members and getting to practice together. But yeah, I don't have a really cool story. I just, ever since I was little, I've always wanted to be a vet. I remember carrying around my stuffed animals and wanting to make them cry and help them instead of like baby dolls when I was little. I was doing surgeries on like my stuffed rabbit.
Oh wow.
I don't know, and I just remember that ever since I was little. So I just don't have a story. Actually, I wasn't even raised with pets, so it just kind of, I guess, was my journey, my life meant to be.
Yeah, it sounds like it, especially not raised with pets, but you knew from a young age. That's
Yeah.
pretty cool. Well, congratulations. I know not exactly firsthand, but from having watched people that it's not a difficult journey. That 8 years of vet school is a challenge. And LSU,
Yeah.
pretty great school from what I understand.
Oh, I loved it. And I really liked that it was in state since I'm from Louisiana. So I got to stay around family closer than I would have if I had to leave state. So I really liked it. And Louisiana's charming. It'll always be home. So
So I don't notice not even the slightest hint of a like Southern or Louisiana accent. So whereabouts in Louisiana were you from?
I'm from North Louisiana, so Ruston. It's also a college town to Louisiana Tech University, which is
Okay.
where my undergrad was. But I lost my accent after moving here. I used to, my first year living in Colorado, everyone would ask me, "Where are you from? Oh my goodness," and like make fun of certain things that I said. No one asks me that anymore. And so, yeah, I think I just kind of converted to Colorado.
It happens. Like, so I went to college down in Nashville and I was down there for about 10 years, and my Southern accent, like 'cause you could say I have a Midwest country accent sometimes around here, but like down there, they all say, "Oh, you sound like you're from way up north." But then I'd come back here and people would say, "Oh, you sound like you're from the South." So I understand how it changes. So,
Yeah, you can't help but pick up what's around you sometimes.
exactly. And, I suppose there's worse things that could happen. So,
Yeah.
okay. So with veterinary medicine, you mentioned, I think you mentioned that like you work a lot of overnight. So would I be right to assume that you work as an ER veterinarian?
That's right. Yeah, I just do emergency medicine and overnight shifts only. So yeah.
Okay. Like
Yeah,
that's pretty exciting. Was that your first position out of college then?
it was. So it was a bit much starting out straight into ER, but I really liked it and I kind of stuck with it. So yeah, that's all I'm doing. That's all I have done.
And this is in Denver, so I'm assuming like you keep pretty busy. I mean, it's a big area. Like, how many pets do you see on an average night, do you think?
It's difficult because it's just ER, so it's always different. I've
Sure.
definitely had nights where nothing comes in, and then I've had nights where I just can't seem to, get ahead of, get ahead of
No.
anything. But I'd say on average, probably anywhere from, I don't know, maybe 4 to 12 a night would be pretty consistent. And then, you have patients in hospital that are getting treatment, so you have the
Sure.
ones that are coming in and the ones that you're taking care of. But it's pretty great. I think it's fun overnight. You get to see some interesting things.
I,
So
I would believe so. Like I came from a small town, and my dad's kind of that old country doctor, and like so.
yeah.
I remember hearing his pager go off, probably thousands of times growing up in the middle of the night, and then he would just, you'd hear the garage door open, and he'd be headed out to a call. But so you're just there hanging out more or less. So are you the only doctor usually at that time, or do you have a team of people with you?
I have support staff that are incredible and I definitely couldn't do anything without them. But I'm the only veterinarian there at night. Yes.
Okay, that's really cool. Is it that so
Yeah.
probably a lot of responsibility coming out of your first, your first and second year of vet school,
My
excuse me.
my first year out, I worked day shifts. So I was ER only, but I worked day shifts and I had a mentor for that first year out.
Okay.
But year 2 and year 3 and I'm going on year 4 now, which is crazy.
Oh
I've been
wow.
overnight alone. But the first year out I did have some help and people to ask questions to. And my mentors back home in Louisiana, I gave him a phone call more times than he probably was happy with. But there's people out there happy to help, especially that first year. Yeah.
That's great. Well, and that's another thing that I love about, a mentorship aspect because obviously, I try to work with Doppler as much as I can as far as training goes. And we've done some bird dog training and other things, but like having somebody that you can reach out to ask questions, like, man, that
Yeah.
makes such a big difference. So, t-
Oh
uh,
yeah.
tell us about like, okay, I should ask, and maybe I missed this detail. How old is Capri?
Capri's 4. 4
4.
years old. Yeah.
Oh, and there he is. He's so handsome. All right.
He knows his name, that's for sure. So I got him pretty much right before I graduated vet school. So he's
Fun.
a testament to how long I've been a vet.
That's awesome. And so,
Mhm.
like, I don't know. I've never really known a Dalmatian, but like,
Mhm.
so tell us about that breed and like, have you done a lot of training with him by yourself? And what are some of the challenges that came with that?
Yeah. So honestly, before I got Capri, I hadn't done Dalmatian research necessarily. I was actually thinking I wanted a pointer, a German short hair pointer when I graduated. I was like, this is the dog I'm going to look for. I want it with the intentions of finding a dog that could run with me.
Sure.
But right there, right towards the end of graduation, at LSU, a breeder brought in a whole litter of Dalmatian puppies to get their
Whoops.
hearing tested, just as like due diligence, and one of them still needed a home, and that just so happened to be Capri. And yeah, so I took her card and then I texted her like 10 minutes later and said, oh, I'll take him. I'm like, oh, he's spotted. How much different could it be? And yeah, he he was a lot of work at the beginning. I had to do a lot of training with him, a lot of socialization and like desensitization.
Sure.
He's very high energy and can be very high strung, but that was his first maybe 1 and 2 years old. Now like 3 and 4 year old, he loves people, places, things, other animals. He's open to all activities and experiences, but at first like the world was very scary and it didn't take much to trigger him to be really scared and just want to be home.
Interesting.
But a lot of training. He had I did the best I could with him, and then I ended up taking him to a board and train facility,
Hmm.
primarily because he's very prey motivated and he
Okay.
didn't have great impulse control. And I was in Colorado at that point, so there's bunnies and squirrels and deer, and I'm hiking, and so he's stronger than me. So I did get him e-collar trained, which
Right.
improved our adventures so much. So we use that, but yeah, he's a good boy. He wants to be a good boy. He's high energy. He's happy. And he did require a lot. He wasn't just like a puppy that became a really well behaved boy without instructions. He needed a job and he needed instructions.
So many of them are like that. They need a job. Like they were bred to
Yeah.
have jobs, and like I feel like so many people see the really cute phase of whether any type of puppy. They see that really cute phase, and then they don't see all the work that goes into them, and
Yeah.
that's always tricky for sure. So, but it's neat that you thought you wanted a German Shorthaired Pointer. That's
Yeah.
the basis of where all this started was from a German Shorthaired Pointer. My first bird dog, and I can point him.
Oh,
This is Radar up here, and
yeah.
I so Radar unfortunately didn't have very good impulse control either, and chased a bird into the highway, and
Oh,
so. But it was this community that like because we were doing a little social media at the time, and then all of a sudden that happened, and this community just like picked us up, and it brought me to where I am with Doppler today. So
yeah.
it's been pretty cool. So
Hmm.
but so I love also to hear that you said taking to a board and train, and then like choosing to use an e-collar, especially with all the adventures you do, because like from what I've seen on your social medias, Capri is like he's a pretty bold dog. Like he's confident. He loves being out there with you. Like, and I imagine that gives you a whole other level of confidence when you're doing these hikes, especially if like, do you do a lot of solo hiking or do you hike with teams or friends or anything like that?
We do a lot of solo hiking, primarily because of my ER schedule. A lot of times I am working on the weekends. So we do weekday hiking alone a lot of the time, and he does make me confident, and he's very confident out there as well. You're so right about that.
So what is your guys's like I'm guessing that you kind of probably like to look for a different hike all the time. But is there you also said that you don't like gatekeepers. So like
Hmm.
what's your favorite go to and maybe give our second favorite so we don't have like flocks of people coming to this specific mountain looking for you in Capri, I guess.
Oh, I wouldn't mind at all. And I love whenever I run into people that have seen our videos. I'm always so happy to talk to people.
That's
And
awesome.
Capri loves meeting everybody too. He eats up the attention. So definitely do not hold back on that regard. I have so many favorites. I have a hard time recommending my favorite because it's like I have a favorite for everything. So I have a favorite in Denver. I have a favorite in the foothills. I have a favorite more in the mountains. But maybe one, if I were to say my favorite one to get that I go back to over and over again in the mountains, I'd say St. Mary's Glacier. I love that hike. It's very short, it's very sweet. There's mountains, there's water. You can hike up further to a glacier if you want to. It's dog friendly. It's the perfect get into the mountains, bring a picnic. Yeah, I don't know. I love St. Mary Glacier, so I'd say that one. Yeah.
Okay, awesome. I'm not familiar with that one, but of course I don't get to Colorado very often.
Yeah.
The some of my favorite spots that I've been to would be let's see, up in Leadville, Turquoise Lake. Have you ever gone up there?
Yes, that area is so beautiful.
So beautiful.
So serene and so quiet up there.
Yes, the air is a little bit thin for us flatlanders, but it could be worse. So, and then I
Yeah.
probably 10 years ago now, some friends and I did camp. We hiked up and did Gross Reserve, which I think was
Okay.
like, uh, that wasn't too high up or anything, but that was still really pretty. I learned that day that I am not great at stand-up paddle boards. So that's a whole other story. But yeah, so no, beautiful area out there. I think it's so cool in talking with you, like uh, your knowledge of all these trails, all this knowledge that you've acquired in the past few years of living in Colorado, like like you share it with confidence. Like that's just very cool. Like, are you? Do you take to public speaking naturally, or do you just enjoy talking with people, or how does that work for you?
Well, I wouldn't say I take to public speaking naturally. I don't know. I guess I don't really know how to answer that one. I'm passionate about hiking and I'm passionate about other people getting outside too. So I'm eager to explain and share my adventures and the details about them. Um, but yeah, I don't know. Sorry, I got a little sidetracked in my head there. Did I answer what you
Yeah,
asked?
yeah, no, absolutely. That you covered it. So, that's fun. Okay, so I have so many questions. Like, because it's one thing in particular I definitely wanted to talk about is the work that you've done with PACA. Because I love that brand so much. Of course, I'm not wearing anything of theirs right now, but
Me
like
either.
that's all right. Well, this isn't a paid endorsement, so. But like, tell us a little bit about that. Like, how did you come across that opportunity? What was the alignment piece that made it where you thought, yeah, this is a company I want to work with?
Yeah, so PACA had reached out to me and asked if I would be interested. I think it was like their original hoodie a couple years ago. If I would be interested in kind of trying it out, seeing what I thought about it, and sharing a bit about it. And yeah, just looking at them very briefly. Obviously their story is really empowering, and their kind of their goals, what they stand for, are really cool as well. Their presence is power, and they're from Peru, and I don't know. It's just I really like everything they have going for them. So it's really easy to just scan that really quick and say yes. I've worked with them on several different projects since that very first one, and everything that you see and hear about them has just stand true. I probably four or five different things we've worked on together. All of their gear is held up like way past expectations. I use it all the time on my backpacking trips and stuff, and I can tell you, it's not just selling points that they're telling you. You know, it's all really good, really solid stuff, and they've all been so sweet and kind to work with. So I really love them as well. I can't believe I'm not wearing it right now either.
It actually warmed up here just enough. I have one on almost every morning and almost every evening. The original hoodie. Like I think I have 4 or 5 of them at this point because I got one and then became addicted. They're so
Yeah.
they're like you mentioned. They're I mean just very easy to take a glance at them and be like, hey, this is a really cool company. And then diving a little deeper, like it's super original too what they're doing. Like they're creating jobs down in the Andes Mountains. These people are actually hand making this material. And then I love, of course, I act like I'm wearing one, like I'm going to pull up the tag where they actually,
Yeah.
that is so cool. Like
I love that too. Yeah.
it just gives it a whole personal touch. So yeah,
Yeah.
so I did a video, kind of just get a shout out for them. Oh, not quite a year ago. And they sent me a really nice gift card. And so I ended up shopping for my mom with it
Mhm.
because I was like, I have to share this stuff. It's just so
Yeah.
cool. So
Yeah.
now what I want to do next is figure out a way to get an invite to Peru and go hang out with them. Because like, how cool would that be?
Oh yeah, that would be awesome. I also like, you can track where your specific hoodie was, made from. You can track your PACA, alpaca. There's the
Oh,
QR code and you can scan it and they can show you exactly where your hoodie came from, where it was made, and where that alpaca is right now.
I did not know that. That's
Yeah,
really cool.
it's so cool. Yeah.
I love that. It's so unique. And again, I thought it was a neat deal where I saw that you'd worked with them in the past. So I have to ask. In fact, I think it must be the most recent project that you did with them. Like the coat. Like
Oh, the outerwear
yeah,
jacket?
it's like a soft shell or something. It looks like, or maybe
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
how is that? Like
Oh, it's so good. I'm thinking you're talking, was it like a blue green color or did it look like it had puffy stuff?
no, I think it was more like a blue green color.
Okay, yeah. So, because I did two outerwear ones and they're both incredible. The one that you're talking about could be a ski jacket. It
Okay, it
is
kind of looks like that. Yeah.
yeah, it is so thick and so warm. I mean, I love it. I love it so much. The quality is very high. There's pockets everywhere too. There's like the thumb holes. I love the thumb hole thing, and they have that on all their stuff. So, the quality, it's very high quality. It definitely challenges the other, like, Patagonia type stuff that I have. Like it's really nice, really warm.
And I love that it's like kind of a niche brand right now. Like maybe not
Hmm.
everybody knows about it, so it's not like your Patagonia or your Smart Wool where you have to go to
Yeah.
REI and spit. Like they're definitely. I would say that they're not because I've owned those other brands. I'm sure you probably have too. Like that,
Hmm.
if they're not competing, they're better in many cases. If you ask me, I think it's so cool.
Yeah, yeah, I know, absolutely. They're just like warm and breathable, and I don't know, they're just more resistant. Like, I feel like some of my other jackets just snag or the threads come out, and I don't know. I didn't read the label. Honestly, I don't know if I was supposed to wash it or not, but I've put that jacket through the washing machine like 3 times. There's no snagging, there's no change to anything. The color is still just as beautiful. Just with Capri and his drool and everything I do, my stuff gets gross. So it's durable and it's just great. I don't know. So I have to agree with you. It definitely is really high quality. Yeah.
That's awesome. I'm glad.
Hmm.
So yeah, now I'm going to be considering buying a coat, but it's
Yeah.
maybe I'll wait till next season. I feel like we're about out of the winter here. So, but okay, so my folks are actually out in Winter Park right now, and they were saying that it's the worst snowpack that they've experienced in like 25 years or more. Like, what's that been like?
Oh, it is. I just went to Breckenridge yesterday. The snowpack is awful. It's awful. Any run you go on, there's grass and rocks coming out from the ground. Like, I don't know what's going on. I think it's only snowed in Denver twice this whole season. The mountains have gotten hardly any snow at all. The whole mountains aren't even open, you know?
Bummer.
I don't know what's going on with it. I mean, I'm making the most of it and going up and enjoying it as much as I can, but it's definitely a little scary getting on ice and falling, and it hurts when you're landing on ice instead of snow. So it's been a very different winter than since I've moved up here. It's the first time I've ever seen it like this. So I don't know.
So did you learn to ski and snowboard when you moved to Colorado, or had you done it kind of growing up at all?
Never. I hadn't even really seen snow until I moved to Colorado
I
like
suppose
3 years
that
ago.
stands up. Yeah. Yeah.
So I started snowboarding my first winter here, and I went up there and got rental gear and just thought I was just gonna do it because it looks like, oh, whatever, just
Sure,
go.
sure.
Sure, that
Anyone
did
can
not
figure this
happen.
out.
I ended up at an urgent care getting radiographs of my arms. I was like, confident that I broke something. I didn't. I just have a very low pain tolerance. But I ended up taking like 4 or 5 lessons after that, and I feel confident on the mountain now. But yeah, I had never snowboarded before moving here.
Okay. So now you feel confident. Like, are you could teach lessons to children confident, or like,
Maybe not that. I could definitely go with a friend and give him some pointers and like because I'm not too far removed from that learning phase. I know the questions, I know the frustration and how hard it can be. So I definitely could go with a friend and help them out, but I wouldn't tell somebody I could teach them the whole time. I don't know.
you'll stay in your lane in veterinary
Yeah.
medicine and hiking?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Smart. Okay. Well, so like I said, I try to keep these things short and simple. I know you said you were trying to go to what was it, an Avalanche game tonight?
The Nuggets, the basketball game.
Nuggets, excuse
Yeah.
me. So that's
Yeah.
exciting. That'll be fun.
Yeah, yeah. I love going to the sporting events here. They're all so fun. So,
Okay. Well, if you don't mind, we'll wrap things up with a couple of quick, more hypothetical questions from Doppler. Is that all right?
sure.
Okay, sounds good. This one is going to test your veterinary skills a little bit. Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Dr. Lori, this is going to sound like a bit of a strange question, but my dad keeps getting these emails from our veterinarian suggesting that it's time for me to be neutered. I'd really like a second opinion. Is there any suggestions that she could make by chance?
Well, it depends on your goals with him, I guess I would have to say. Um, as far as male dogs go, and you probably, with your family being veterinarians, you ask 4 vets the same question, everyone's going to have a different answer. Um,
All the time.
yeah, but for me, for male dogs, if your goals are to breed them, then obviously keeping them intact is necessary. But if they're not, I don't know. I mean, I see no point to it to keeping them intact after at least year 3. But I see getting them to 2 years old and letting them be, get their muscling, their body, and etc. But after that, it's like behavioral. You get risks for like I don't know, I hate to get too medical, but like enlarged prostate and
Sure.
things like that. So, but everybody has their own opinion, and I don't deal with that in the ER world.
Lucky
I'm
you.
not doing that and talking about that very much. If it was a female, the story would be a lot different. I would definitely be recommending spaying early. But
Sure.
for male dogs, I'm like, okay, it's probably okay if he's well behaved and whatever else, then fine. But it has its risks later in life.
For sure. Well, I like to ask the question because it's like, and just like you mentioned, you can ask 4 different veterinarians and you may get 4 different answers. And then
Hmm.
especially once you get into the hunting dog community, then you've got a really hardcore group of people that have pretty steadfast feelings about this, subject.
Mhm.
I just
Yeah.
always find it interesting.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, my dad's been on my case lately. He's like, "When are you going to bring Doppler in to have him fixed?" And I'm just like, if I do this right now, I think the internet might like just blow up on me. Because I had the discussion a year ago, and that kind of happened with the previous dog. So, but
Hmm.
anyway, that's a fun one. Okay, so this one's a little bit more goofy, hypothetical, and I've got it looks like about. Are we good for 2 more questions, or are you?
No,
Okay,
that's totally fine. Yeah.
okay. Here's another hypothetical. Let's see. Sorry to put you on the spot. Doppler does this.
No worries.
Okay, fun hypothetical question. You just picked up a book and you started reading it, and then you realize that this book is the story of your life. As you're reading, you get to the point where you are right now. You're reading the book. Do you turn the next page and see what comes next, or do you stop reading?
Oh my gosh. I stopped reading. I think like my first answer would be like, oh, I keep reading, but no, I was actually doing that. I would say I stopped reading. I don't know. I like presence is presence is the most important thing, you know? And if you knew the future, I don't know if you'd be as present or it'd be as enjoyable. It's like, you know, you're getting cake later, it's good and you like it. But if you don't know you're getting cake later and then you get it, it's like, I got cake. I don't know. I don't know. That's a bad example. That
No,
is a
that's a
very,
phenomenal example.
I don't know. I think I would stay where I'm at and enjoy each day for what it is.
I think that's a very positive response. It would be tough to not want to know a little bit, but then like,
Yeah.
how could you truly ever be present if you already know what's going to happen? Like that would be
Yeah.
well, so much less interesting. So, okay.
Yeah.
Awesome. Great answer. I appreciate these. Thanks for humoring us. We're a little bit. So, all right. Last one, I promise. Let's see if I can get it to the right spot.
All right, Lori, I want to say thanks again so much for being here. One final question. You just discovered you have the ability to travel through time. What's the first moment you're going to visit? Good.
Oh my goodness. So it's in the past. The first moment I'm going to visit in the past.
Yeah.
There are so many thoughts that come to my head, but they're all circulating around like being younger, like being in high school and memories and things that we did then. So I guess I'd say just a general time frame. I think I'd go back to like being in high school. Not that I want to redo school all over again,
No thanks.
but I don't know. It's so lighthearted. It's so fun. You still live with your siblings. You still live with your parents. You're not like, I don't know. It'd be cool to have the information I have now and go back and be in high school and just, I don't know. I think that's what I would do.
Just exist for a while, knowing what you know now.
Yeah. Yeah, I think so. Just enjoy it. Just enjoy being young and being with my family. Because you know, I'm not a car drive from home anymore. I love Colorado, and I'm probably not moving back to Louisiana. But it is tough being away from my family, and I have a brother and a niece back home too. So I think I'd go back and just like really take in all those moments and not be so frustrated or annoyed. You know?
Yeah. I'd
Yeah.
say that definitely could create challenges living far from home. So, do you have any other family in Colorado, or it's just you?
I recently convinced my twin sister to move up here with me. So she lives with me now, which is amazing.
That's awesome.
And I love that so much. And I don't think she has any plans of leaving either. So now I have her up here, which is awesome. So yeah, I really can't complain.
So you got the squad with you. I'm glad to hear it. So.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, hey, like I said, I promise to try to keep these things right around 30 minutes. This has been so much fun. I really appreciate you taking the time. What I'll end up doing is I'll edit this together. This is actually tonight's episode. So I'm going to just turn this around real quick, put it together, and it'll end up on YouTube, the full episode. And then I'll, just kind of clip together some of the, the fun stuff. And if you want to share it, great. I would really appreciate it. If you think, gosh, he's just a goof, you won't hurt my feelings at all. That's kind of how the internet works. So.
No, it's so cool. It's so fun. I'm excited to see it, and I'll definitely share it.
Well, thank you so much. If we're ever coming through Colorado, we may be hitting you up asking for the right places to go. So,
Oh yeah, for sure. Don't hesitate to reach out. Yeah, and I hope your family has a fun, safe time in Winter Park. That's exciting.
well, thank you. Yeah, I hope so. They're
Yeah,
having a good time too. If nothing else, they're probably enjoying a few drinks on the mountains. So,
sure, definitely.
well, Lori, thank you again. This has been great. Enjoy the Nuggets game tonight. Give Capri extra scratches. I'm sure he's ready for him by this point. So.
Oh yeah, definitely.
and again, if you guys want to follow her, this is Lori Winborn at Capri and Me. So.
Hmm.
Awesome. Well, hey, thanks. Have a great night. We'll talk to you some other time.
Thank you.
All right. Have a good one.
Bye.
Bye.